Hi everybody, in this video we talk about, well, Baldur's Gate 3 deserved to be Game of the Year 2023, and to be honest I have very little doubt that it's going to take Game of the Year 2023. I don't see any other game that can actually compete against this achievement from Larian Studios. So what makes Baldur's Gate 3 such a fantastic game? Well, I think one of the main things that actually made me fall in love with this game and appreciate the work put by Larian Studios is that Baldur's Gate 3 done something that Elden Ring has done, and this is basically bringing a certain genre to the masses. Some gameplay that you think it might appeal to certain type of players and maybe be a niche, but it appealed to such a wide audience. So in Elden Ring it was Souls game, and that brought to the masses, I mean, of course in a different, unique way. For example, in Elden Ring, instead of bringing players into a way that they can be very frustrated into trying to solve some of the challenges and not be able to progress, they've created an open world where they basically allow players to find a way around different and difficult challenges and maybe come back and be stronger while they actually challenge, for example, tough boss fights. And still the game is going to be tough and challenging as a soul game, but there are ways to actually approach it and make the game in general more approachable for players in general. Same is with Baldur's Gate 3 as a turn-based game. This game has a huge appeal to many players who weren't into also turn-based games. They actually prefer action games like myself. But they made the game so immersive, fun, and exciting to play that players actually wouldn't mind and actually learn how to appreciate the turn-based mechanic in the game. This means, for example, that combat was very, very immersive and fun. It felt punchy. The visuals were amazing. Players were actually engaged. It uses the environment to actually allow players to come up with some really cool ways to defeat enemies. So observation becomes a very important part. So when you need to observe and take your time, of course turn-based games is just the perfect thing to use. It's also a game that doesn't bore the eye. There's so many amazing, the music, the sound effects in the detailed environment really make you actually enjoy pausing the game and actually looking around. You can rotate the camera, look in different directions, and this allows players, of course, to enjoy every second of the game rather than finding a safe situation where they're actually bored visually with what's happening on the screen. The other thing is decision making, that I think this was kind of a very big evolutionary step, but for some players it will appear absolutely revolutionary because the way all the choices that you actually have in the game to make certain decisions and their impact. There's so many choices, so many pathways you can choose, and the game actually, with all the different cutscenes that we're recording, I think more than 170 hours of cutscenes, it doesn't feel overwhelming, by the way, because it's for all the different choices. You really felt that you have an impact. You can decide to be whatever you like, and you actually enjoy that. Like in real life, you make different choices. Same here, you have lots of choices, and you don't feel that you play, and this is important, a scripted game. It doesn't feel scripted. It doesn't feel like everybody's just going to follow the same path and going to be the same. You really feel it's your own story. You have lots of choices, and you really make the game feel like your own journey. The other thing I can say is regarding the characters. They are so believable. You can easily relate to it. And it happens in many games that we play. There are so many characters and there's dialogue and the animation is good, but you're not connected to the characters. This is really such a huge difference. When I jump into, for example, Starfield, I felt it immediately. I mean, I was so connected to the characters here. I really care for them. I was upset. Emotions start flowing, because I really care about the characters. Whether in Starfield I didn't care about the characters at all. And of course there were animations, there are different characters, but here it just felt so much well directed and acted, especially with the voice acting, the animations, that really make it more believable. So you really care about the characters. And you need to understand, this game is a D&D game. So turn-based and D&D game. Being able to actually bring D&D to the masses so many players can actually enjoy it is a big thing. I didn't know about D&D rules, and actually I've watched free videos, short videos to really understand the basic, but it's not a must. You can actually enjoy this game without actually knowing anything about D&D. And I can say that the same goes to D&D fans who will be able to experience the excitement of D&D game in a mobile game that they thought maybe is going to be too complicated, too hard to actually create something that has enough depth and interest for them to actually play something like that in a digital form. Larian Studios realized it perfectly. And believe me, I'm playing many games, and there's so many ambitious games in the past that I actually wasn't able to connect with, whether in Baldur's Gate 3, I was able to. I mean, it's not just connect with, I'm totally immersed in with the game. And I do this very rarely, that I play more playthroughs in a long game. I did it in Elden Ring, which I thought I'm never going to do it, and I did 3 times. And I'm close to finish my second playthrough in Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm sure I'm going to do a third one as well. Now, I have no doubt that Starfield is definitely not in the same league of this game. Yeah, I know the script. These are not the same game. True, they are not the same games, but for the Game of the Year, they will compete most probably at the same spot for being the Game of the Year. So again, of course, they won't be competing for the exact same genre, but they will be competing to becoming, the game that actually has the most impact in 2023. The game was able to stand up the most and really shine, something like kind of, an encore in 2023 that people will remember that the 2023 is the year where Baldur's Gate 3 was released. So Starfield was, it was great at the start and fell flat very fast. And so in terms of definitely enjoyment, immersion, replay value, there's nothing really to compare between the two. Everything goes forward in favor of Baldur's Gate 3 and not into Starfield. Same goes to the story, the animation, immersion, the world, the details in the world, all the fine details and the perfecting the little details in the game. Definitely Baldur's Gate 3 is way beyond what was achieved in Starfield. The RPG element, the choices that you made, all the path choices that you have, being able to emotionally connect with what's happening in the story, caring about the story. Again, this is just way and beyond compared to Starfield. Doesn't mean that the game doesn't have issues, and of course it's easy to have issues when you create such a massive game. So we're not talking about, for example, Among Us, right? Or maybe small games that were perfected and they're small and it's very easy to perfect them. This is a huge game. It's very hard, especially with some restrictions regarding to technical marketing and all this stuff, to really create something that's just perfect. So we need to take things into consideration, and knowing that there are issues with the game, some maybe parts don't feel complete as some maybe players expected. But in the overall, you look at the overall scheme, it delivers a fantastic gameplay experience. Of course, let's remember there's no microtransaction and all the other crap here in this game. Just sheer on straight game for you to enjoy. Now, regarding Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I need to say something about that. You see, there are some games that I connect with, some not. I played Breath of the Wild and eventually I got bored. Not just I didn't play another playthrough, I stopped almost at the, close to them because I was just bored. I wasn't motivated enough to continue playing. It felt, in most cases empty and not interesting. And yeah, I just didn't enjoy it as much as others. And fair enough, I'm sure there are many people who won't enjoy even all the other games that I mentioned here, like Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 as well. But still, it's a game contender to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be contender to be Game of the Year. I have no doubt about that. And of course, this is something you need to take into consideration. I'm not there to actually speak about that. You can share your opinion as well. If you play, by the way, all of these games, you're probably going to have even a better perspective than me. But I can only speak for 2 games that I did play in Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know we don't know exactly which one will be nominated to Game of the Year 2023, but I have a good feeling that Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 will be among those, and also Tears of the Kingdom as well. But again, we need to wait and see. But there's no doubt, I think that even Larian Studio were surprised to see the success of the game. We can ignore the fact that it carries the Baldur's Gate name title, so this definitely helped get the hype for new players, especially those those gamers who are already getting into their 30s, 40s, even 50s, even more, that actually were playing those classic games and they felt very nostalgic playing another Baldur's Gate game. But they really, really wanted, I'm sure they really wanted, I mean, like myself, they really wanted this game to remind them the fun of the classics while still deliver something that is fun and modern. Because again, sometimes you play games that are classic games, but it was fun back then, but it's not fun anymore now, or at least much less than you remember it to be. But there are some things, of course, regarding the mechanics of the game that you still like and enjoy, but you really want a developer to really make something that combines the two, to make something that will bring back the great memories and fun of the gameplay that makes those games fun to play back then, but make them really fun to play again now that you're a more mature gamer, and of course this plays many years after. So you want a modern game that have the classics DNA, but it is a lot of fun to play. And I think that Larian Studios did exactly that, which is something that, by the way, it's not easy. Some developers make remakes and try just to increase the visuals and really don't make it really fun. It's happened to me in many games, by the way, that I've tried variations, remakes, and other type of, I remember with Wonder Boy and Gianna Sisters, and it wasn't it. I actually prefer playing the classics rather than playing the different remakes and remasters and all these things that came after for certain games that I really enjoyed playing in the past. And some of them I probably won't enjoy regarding what they're going to do to them. It was just nice memory, and that's about it. It will stay there in the past. So I think this is very, very hard to try to really do something that actually works. And of course, they had lots of experience in developing previous RPG games were great success with them, and of course this really helped them to have a good start developing Baldur's Gate 3. And of course we're talking about Divinity Original Sin, especially Divinity Original Sin 2, and of course nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you wanted to get a turn-based RPG elements, they have a fantastic success with the previous one. Of course we're going to bring something with that, with this expertise, and create extra on top of that to make it even better. And it is, of course, regarding scope, and of course they're learning from experience, and they created something really special. So again, Baldur's Gate 3 just ticks all the right places to create a really fantastic RPG experience. Lots of depth, detail, really lovable, and characters that you can really relate to. Not lovable, I mean characters that can really convince you with their acting. You really feel connected with them emotionally. Very good replay value. So in terms of, especially when it comes to team compositions, you want to get into another class. Lots of depth, lots of different options and pathways to choose your adventure, so it feels yours rather than something very scripted. So you see, all right, I'm just going to do, everybody's just going to do the same and end in the same way. No, it's not in this game. There are things that, of course, might be, very similar, but there are many paths for you to choose. This also leads to very high replay value. The music is fantastic, the visual effects, the sound effects. The game feels very atmospheric and immersive, especially in certain places. There are lots of hidden things and secrets to discover. This is just way and beyond, deviate from the norm, especially in the other AAA games. This is just feel like more kind of a, well, let's say it. I don't say quadruple, but I'm saying this is very, very of the top of what AAA games can achieve at the moment. I felt the same, by the way, with Elden Ring, and I feel the same now with Baldur's Gate. Really, these are two games that actually became my top favorite games of all time. Of course, there's some recency bias, but again, I'm pretty sure, of course, when I experience something, that is going to stay like that. It stayed the same with Elden Ring now a lot of time after I finished it. it stays, and it's very strong memories, and you really remember the high and lows in your life or in your gaming experiences. And again, I just can't forget all the amazing moments I had with Elden Ring. I really want Elden Ring 2 to be released, to be honest. I'm just craving for more. And yeah, the same thing I think about Baldur's Gate 3. Fantastic game. Actually, yesterday, after playing Starfield quite a lot, I went back through Baldur's Gate 3 and continue my second playthrough to finish my second playthrough, which I again enjoy every single moment of it. Actually, in the second playthrough, I tried many different pathways for content, basically, but I didn't do a lot. I'm trying to find different pathways and trying to play with things. Before that, I was kind of a more straight on, just getting what I get and without actually breaking my head too much about the different options that I make. Nonetheless, in my opinion, this is just one of those masterpieces that's going to stay with us and inspire many other developers for years to come. It doesn't matter what you think about, maybe you shouldn't compare and whatever. This game will be inspiration. The reason for that is because players love it, lots of players love it, and that's it. If you want to convince players to really love a certain game, you need to do something special. This is the reason it works here. There's a reason so many players actually love it. Look at the amount of reviews, positive reviews on Steam. You can see it. Again, if I was a developer, this was something that I would look forward to get inspired by. No doubt about it. It's something special. I'm not creating another Baldur's Gate like game, but I'm saying there are many things to get inspired by in the game itself. And that's it. So in my opinion, Baldur's Gate 3 will be the game of the year 2023. So I want to know your opinion, which one you think will be the game of the year. Do you completely agree with my opinion, or you think that another game deserves it more? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for listening to this podcast, and see you on the next one. Cheers.